Good afternoon and welcome to Crucible Ecumenical Church. We just had our praise and worship, and one of the songs was, "It's all right, it's okay. Don't you let your troubles get in your way." Again, welcome to Crucible Ecumenical Church here in Columbia, South Carolina. I am Reverend Dr. Bernard Byrd, Senior Pastor of Crucible Ecumenical Church here at 1026 Pope Street. Our lectionary readings for today was Hosea chapter 11, verses 1 through 11. It is judgment is prophesied for Israel because the people adultery and unfaithfulness, but God's compassion and love for God's people makes judgment difficult for God. And so restoration is also promised. Also in our lectionary readings we have Psalms chapter 107. Psalms 107, verses 1 through 9 and 43. Praises for God's unfailing love and God's salvation for God's people. When distress, the history of God's people reveal God's faithful love. God's faithful love. We have Colossians chapter 3, verses 1 through 11. Because of Christ's love, life in us. Because of Christ's life in us. We are called to prioritize the value of heaven over the values of earth, and to avoid the greed and of earth bound. Extensive, rather recognizing that we are all the same in Christ. Rather recognize the same in Christ. We are to find our life in Christ and seek to become like our God. To find our life in Christ and seek to become like our God. And we have our gospel, Luke chapter 12, verses 13 through 21. In warning against greed, Jesus tells a parable of a wealthy man who feels secure because of his great riches, but whose wealth becomes meaningless when he dies. Then Christ challenged us to seek a rich relationship with God instead of material things. To seek a relationship with God instead of material things. Where do you place your faith? Does the idea of trusting God for protection, provision, and justice sound native and unrealistic to you? Yet, this is exactly what the scriptures call us to do. To live differently from the self-protective wealth accumulated customs of our world and place our trust in God in the face of the huge challenges we face in the world. this may sound completely out of touch. But when the role of money in so many of these challenges is recognized, the call to give up our faith in finances and reclaim a true faith in God become distantly reverent and subversive. May your worship this week move you into a place of deeper trust in God and more courageous challenges of the culture of accumulating in our world. You know, it is just sometimes so hard for us to look back on our lives and wonder, is my walk in line with Jesus? Is my walk in line with Jesus? That will be our sermon topic for today. Is my walk in line with Jesus? What I'm asking you to do today is, or do this week, is to evaluate yourself. Evaluate what it is that you have done, what it is that is in line with Jesus, with the walk with Jesus. Are you walking in, or is your walk in line with Jesus? Is the things that you say to others, the things that you say to others, in line with what you think Christ might say? What? You ain't turn it up. I know you ain't turn it up.